Dale, the new plate looks great, but it was one of 8 that Albertans were able to vote on?
That's right. We started with 8 plates, and then we had 3 rounds of voting, and we went down to the last 2, and it was Moraine Lake versus Pump Jack and Cowboy, and it was a nail biter. I honestly didn't know which one was going to win, and less than 1% separated the two during the final voting.
So let me ask you something. Why Moraine Lake instead of the more famous Lake Louise here in Alberta?
You know what? We went back and forth on a lot of different options, and we wanted to give Albertans some choice, and so we didn't want to just have federal parks in there, and we didn't want to not have any federal parks in there. We wanted to have a mix. So we went with Moraine Lake, and then we had one with the Alberta flag and the mountains in the background, and then of course we had some agricultural ones, as well as some more standard red on white background. So we tried to get the gamut, but we wanted to cap it at 8 license plates.
Now, there's a little bit of controversy surrounding the term strong and free. Critics say it's just a UCP slogan plastered onto the plate. What are your thoughts?
Well, I can tell you that the strong and free has been our provincial motto for a long time. It's also in our national anthem, so it's a shout out to our national anthem. And don't forget that the King was here reading the throne speech in Ottawa a few months ago, and he referenced being strong and free. So there is no political party that owns the corner on strong and free. It's something that represents all of Alberta, and we can all get behind it.
Now, critics also said that Premier Daniel Smith and your party should have stuck to more important issues, such as at working resolving the teachers' dispute. But I was
Yeah, we can chew gum and walk at the same time, Hal. And so we don't stop governing just because we have some critical issues going on in the background. We recognize that these are important labor issues that we have to resolve, but it doesn't mean the business of governance stops. And so this was something that we had started almost a year ago, and you put everything on a schedule. And this is when we had allocated some time for the plate. So we just made the decision that we're going to continue about the business of governance. And I can tell you, Albertans responded overwhelmingly positive. I mean, there will always be some naysayers, but we had over 240,000 people that had went to alberta.ca and voted on one or more of these license plates.
I remember growing up in Calgary, the old plates, when I first learned how to drive, were the yellow jackets. I guess they call them the yellow with the black.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they evolved after that. These are the first new plates in what, about 40 years?
40 years. They've actually attempted about, I think it's 17 or 18 years ago. They attempted to replace them, but they just, they got gun shy. There was too much noise, and they decided not to do it. But you know what? We listened to Albertans, and they told us that they wanted a makeover on those things that represent Alberta, starting with our driver's licenses, going to our license plates, but ultimately, it was important to us that Albertans decided. It couldn't be government deciding what the plate looks like. It needed to be Albertans, and that's why we designed a tournament-style vote so that Albertans could start to feel like they had some say in the matter. And it was also exciting because people would approach me on the street and they'd say, "Yep, I voted for Moraine Lake," or "I voted for Pump Shack and Cowboy." So it was exciting.
Now, the new plates are scheduled to roll out, I believe, mid-2026. Can Albertans keep their old Wild Rose Country license plates?
Absolutely. If the plate is in good condition, they can continue to use it. What we didn't want to do was do a mandatory recall on all plates. If you have the old one, if it's in good shape, then you can continue to use it.
Minister of Service Alberta and Red Tape Reduction, Dale Nally, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Hal. It was a pleasure.